Now, I don't know if you remember back in the day, there was this thing called net neutrality that everybody was freaking out about. Some individuals, content creators, pretty popular, maybe being a little bit irresponsible, maybe fearmongering just a little bit. Big tech companies as well, saying that all of these things may happen if this whole net neutrality deal was repealed. And I remember doing videos on my channel. I also did videos on being libertarian. And a lot of people seem to be confused, even grilling me in the comments. When I was like, what you think is going to happen isn't going to happen because, first and foremost, this law or regulation, if you will, does not prevent what you think it prevents in terms of monopolies. Those are separate issues that need to be addressed. Those are state and local issues that deal with state and local governments. It's not necessarily what you think. Why anybody would trust this massive entity known as the federal government or any agency that they have to responsibly regulate, trust that it will responsibly regulate something is beyond me. But I'll get to that just a little bit because remember, it was fear-mongering. Then it happened and, well, all the things that people said would happen did not happen. Websites being throttled or behind paywalls or, stuff like that. It didn't happen. A lot of stuff came out of that. A lot of lying came out of that. A lot of dramatizing came out of that. But the one thing that I find absolutely hilarious, those big tech companies who made it seem like, oh, it's the ISPs, the big corporations, we're sticking it to the big corporations. When it was big corporations that were, sort of leading the charge when it came to this whole idea of, no, we need net neutrality. There's a reason why. But some of those same institutions that were, again, participating as well in the fear mongering are now, ironically enough, if you want to call it ironic, that's probably not the right word, but they are being accused of censorship, such as Facebook. Ain't that something? ain't that something, right? It's because, like I said, it was never about taking it to the man, taking it to the big corporations. They don't let the regulations keep them in check. No, it was just big corporate entity against big corporate entity, and some of the big corporate entities on this side had convinced their content creators to fear mongering. You guys ate that crap up, and now a couple years have passed, nothing happened. And some people, well, that's anecdotal, right? That's just anecdotal, right? It's just anecdotal. Well, just give it some time, right? Just give it some time, and then some things will happen. No. Again, what you thought that regulation did, it didn't do in the first place. Anyway. But on a serious note, I want you guys to start picking up on stuff like that. Again, this isn't one of those, oh, look at me, I was right, whatnot. That's not what this is about. Pay attention. Look at different sides of this equation. Start to form your own arguments. In the age of social media, it is so easy to take your favorite content creator and take what they believe, even people that claim to be experts on certain subject matters that you trust, and you just take their word for it. Don't take anybody's word for it, including mine. You shouldn't do that. Because quite often, stuff like this happens. Then we just move on to the next thing that you guys are fear-mongering about. I don't know what it is this week. Amazon fires. Maybe we're a little past that. I'm not exactly sure what we're supposed to be freaking out about this week. I'm not sure. But you got to stop letting these fools control the narrative. Getting you guys to be outraged is sort of fad outrage. Getting you guys to be outraged about certain things. And quite often, you get these gigantic corporate entities that convince you that by giving the state more power, you're taking it to the man, right? Because, the corporate entities, right? Those guys, they don't have what's in your best interest. But the government does. The federal government absolutely does. Give me a break. not understanding, like with the whole net neutrality thing, a lot of these institutions favor those because it's those sorts of regulatory laws because it keeps them at the top. They benefit from it. But if you were paying attention to different sides of this, you would have realized that. Think for yourself. I know that sounds cliche as all heck, but think for yourself. That's all I'm saying. Take time to actually analyze the situation. Get the facts for yourself. So-and-so is saying this about the law, and that's what I did. Go trace it back. Go trace, and don't just trace, that law or regulation. Trace what led up to this, which, regulation in regard to the telephone industry and telecommunications and stuff like that, which I've documented, gave you guys the facts in a video that I did on net neutrality back in the day. You can go do that for yourself. And I know maybe it takes a little work, but at least you'll be informed, because unfortunately what we have with this situation is what we have with a lot of situations. And that's people who aren't informed having loud opinions about situations that they're completely ignorant on. And like I always say, that is when ignorance crosses over into stupidity, when you are knowingly and loudly speaking on something and you have no idea what in the world you're talking about.